Physical posture is an important aspect of our health as well as our social life. Bad posture can affect our physical health and may result in dull and negative mind. Hi, my name is Indira Chava. In this video, I shall show you 7 yoga asanas which will help you improve your posture as well as elevate your state of the mind and confidence. Let's get started. The first asana in this video is Virabhadra, which will help us work on rounded shoulders, which gives you more breathing space. Let's look at that. Getting to the front of the mat, feet hip width apart, hands on the hip, keeping your hip facing forward. Take your left foot back in the same line, keeping the right knee slightly bent, and here you draw the navel in. Work on lifting the chest up. Remember, we're working on rounded shoulders like this, right? So here you want to put that conscious effort to roll shoulders back, chest expanded, and you stay here. Once you're stable here, you can also extend arms to the ceiling to give you that more length to the spine. Here your more effort is to expand the chest, that little raise in the chest, at the same time not exaggerating the arch in the lower back, tucking your navel in, reach your arms up with the shoulders relaxed. This will give you more space to breathe and that good length to your upper spine. If you're stable, you can look up or else look forward. Once you finish this, staying here for few breaths, bring your hands down and step forward. We will do on the other side. Taking your right foot back, do not take it too far, you might lose balance. In the same line, with the back foot slightly tucked out, turned out, and right hip facing forward. And bend the left knee right above the ankle. Here, once you're ready, inhale, extend arms to the ceiling, focus on drawing the navel, at the same time lifting your chest up. Feel that expansion, that lift and the length in the upper chest. Look up if you're stable. Continue to breathe here with that lengthening experience of your spine. Once you're done, bring your hands down, step forward. That was Virabhadrasana 1. Let's look at how to open the chest in this direction, Virabhadrasana 2. For that, use the entire mat space, turn to the side of the mat, get your feet a little wide apart, wider than the previous asana. Check your heels in one line, turn the right foot out, heels are still in one line. Bend the knee and ankle in one line. Do not lean to the side, stay in the center. Open your left hip, tucking your navel in, arms extended to the side, shoulder level. Here, drop the shoulders back and down, raise this chest part, giving that space and the length to the spine, and look to the right side. Do not shrug shoulders or do not arch too much, tucking your navel, lift the chest up, and stay there. Few breaths. Once you're done, you can simply come up, hands on the hip, turning the right foot in, left foot out, bend the knee, don't lean, come to the center point, your hip, shoulder and head in one line. Inhale, extend arms, open your right hip out, tucking the navel, raise your chest up, look to the left side. Stay here for few breaths and you come back. Hands on the hip, turning the left foot in, get your feet closer. We're done with the first posture to work on is rounded shoulders, which we addressed through Virabhadrasana. The second posture is a lateral bend to work on scoliosis. Scoliosis means the curvature of the spine is switched to the side like this. If I'm standing this way, my spine is in the same line. For the scoliosis, it may be shifted. The degree of shifting may vary too much or too less. Based on that, you can modify the posture. Also, one of the shoulders getting dropped this way due to maybe you're carrying a bag on the same shoulder for many days, as well as the way you sit and work. Let's look at the posture. Start with feet slightly wider apart than the hip width, hands on the hip. Now inhaling, extending the left arm up. As you exhale, bending towards your right side. Once you bend, make sure the other elbow pointing down to the sky, down to the floor, not pointing backward, and moving your hip to the front slightly. Extend using the hand above to give you that lift in the chest. Remember, previous posture we used the front part of the chest. Now the lateral part of the chest getting lifted with this movement, which will give you more space for your chest and the lungs. You stay here for few breaths and then inhale, come back to center. Now on to the other side. Inhale, extending the arm, shoulder relaxed. As you exhale, bend to the left side and open the chest. Use that hand, that elbow above can be slightly bent so that the shoulder and the chest lift is more, and look up. Once you're here for a few breaths, inhale, come back to center, exhale, release. Those who have a deeper shoulder drop or a deeper intense scoliosis can hold the posture. Suppose if this side your shoulder is dropped more, so you need to do the opposite side, that shoulder getting lifted for a longer duration. You can hold maybe for 10 breaths this side, where the other side you can do normal 5 to 7 breaths. The third asana is Adho Mukha Svanasana, which is also called Parvatasana. This is going to work on two areas of our body, that is upper body, which is neck, shoulders, sides of the body, as well as your hips. Let's look at the posture. Be at the back end of the mat. Get your palms forward, extend to give you that length. Palms separate shoulder width apart. Spread your fingers, get your palms firm onto the mat. Lift your hip up, tuck your toes. Lift your knees off the ground. Keep your feet little apart. Here the posture looks simple but has got a lot of good alignments which will work on your posture. So start to press your palms, start to move your shoulders away from ears, and as well as lift your hip to the sky. If your hamstrings and hips are tight, you can also bend your knees slightly. Walk on, press your heels down. If your heels are down, toes lifted up. So this one is going to help you give good length to the upper body as well as hip and the hamstring improvement. Once you're here, stay here for few breaths, keeping your neck neutral, looking at the back between your legs. If you're comfortable, moving on to Adho Mukha Svanasana with single leg, Ekapada. Get your feet closer. Inhale, raise your right leg up. Here, see my foot, left foot is firm and deep, digging into the ground. Press your palms, keep lifting your right leg high to give you that length, and down. Same thing on the other side. Inhale, lifting your left leg up. At the same time, press your palms, press the foot, lift your leg higher. Without opening the hip, close your left hip and down. Again, feet slightly apart, adjust. Make sure you create a good equilateral triangle. Don't keep your 2 feet too close to your palms or too far. Somewhere in between, we are able to bear the weight equally on your palms and feet. Keep lifting the hip up. Stay here for few breaths and you release. Place your knees down. You can also rest, keeping your hips down, hands down. Walk your hands back. Sit upright. As you have seen, Adho Mukha Svanasana works on the entire body, multiple regions of the body. The fourth asana is Dandasana or plank. This is to work on your hyperlumbar lordosis, like this. If you see me from the side, we all have a natural curvature in the lumbar, that's the lower back. If it is exaggerated this way, that is a hyper. That means like it is beyond the natural curvature. That will also result in the deeper expansion of the chest. If you see somebody like this, that means you need to work on exactly opposite movement, which means you're going to tuck the navel in and use your palms to give you that curve in your upper back to work on this kind of posture. Let's look at it. Moving on to Dandasana, you be at the back end of the mat, come on your knees, get your palms shoulder width apart. Now, once you're ready, step your feet back. Here, make sure your shoulder is right above the wrist. Once you're here, do not go too low. What happens? The same lumbar arch will be increased. So here, your effort is going to be more on tucking the navel in. For that, you need to keep your hip a little higher than the shoulder level. And at the same time, press those palms, lift the shoulders away where shoulder blades are moving away from each other. Active legs, tighten your kneecaps, thighs, navel drawn in, look between your palms. Stay here for few breaths. Do not do a very collapsed posture like this, very active, as if you're moving away from the floor. Once you're here for few breaths, drop knees down, sit back, rest. Sitting upright. That's the end of Dandasana. You must have seen now, like it is a very good challenging posture, works on your core, your lower back, improves your entire spinal posture. The fifth asana is Ustrasana, to work on shortened hip flexors, which are going to connect the thighs to the upper body. Due to maybe sitting for long hours without movement, it would make your hip flexors short. This posture is going to work on that. Let's get started. So coming onto your knees, you can support your knees with a cushion if you feel that it's very hard surface. So keep your feet tucked in, toes tucked in this way. So hip flexors here, right? So your more effort is going to be more of hip moving forward. So keep that as a main focus area. So hands on the hip. Let us look at half Ustrasana. So keeping your right hand on the right heel. So get a good proper grip and work on tightening your buttocks, lower back, moving your hip forward. And if you're comfortable, start to extend the arm to the ceiling and also towards the back to give you that more movement of your hip. Now you can stay here for a few breaths and come back. Same way, onto the other side, your left hand reaching for the left heel. So work on your hip movement has to be your primary focus area. Extending the right hand to the ceiling and also to the back. So that grip also helping you to squeeze your buttocks, move the hip forward constantly. And come back to the center. Those who are comfortable for a deeper extension of your hip, you can also do with the both hands this way. I will not be talking, you can just see that how hip is moving forward. One hand on the heel, other hand, once you're here, that chest lift, hip forward. See the hip moving forward with the buttocks tightened, chest up. If you're comfortable, you can drop your head back. And come back to center. Sit back in child's pose to rest. After a few breaths, sit upright. That was Ustrasana to address beginners as well as who are very comfortable with hip flexors can also do a complete posture to improve it further. The sixth asana is Dhanurasana, to work on rounded shoulders as well as square shoulders or shrugged shoulders, you can call it. So this posture will address this. So for that, your effort is going to be more of a chest expansion as well as shoulders dropping down. It will also improve your posture as well as breathing capacity. Let's look at that. Lie down on your stomach. Forehead on the mat. Bend knees, grip onto the ankles. This grip is very important. Your forefingers and thumbs separated. Get the grip of the ankles, not the foot. Ankle grip, complete circle grip. Once you're ready, here onwards, put that effort of rolling shoulders back and down. As you inhale, keep moving your legs away from your buttocks. See that lift and the expansion of the chest. Look forward. Once you're here, put an effort to breathe. Inhale, exhale. And tightening your buttocks, lifting your legs high for a deeper lift of the shoulders. Once you're comfortable, exhale, release your hands down, knees down. Legs down, get your palms next to the chest, lift your chest up, sit back to child's pose to give that rest to your spine. Sitting back. That was Dhanurasana. You have seen how it opens the chest part as well as help you to draw the shoulders back and down. Let's look at the posture. You need to lie down on your stomach. I'll show you the grip first. So bending the knee, so using your 4 fingers and the thumb gripping onto the ankle, not the foot. Sometimes we get to hold the foot because of inflexibility. Walk on. You can also do single leg if you can't hold on to the both ankles. Get your head down, gripping onto the ankles, a firm, nice tight grip. As you inhale, lift your legs up. See that chest automatically getting lifted up, shoulders are moving away from ears. For that, you need to have that very strong grip and legs, with that leg strength, you are getting lifted. Stay here for a few breaths. After few breaths, as you exhale, come down. Get your palms next to the chest, lift your chest up, sit back, child's pose. Coming up, sit upright. As you have seen, that works on expansion of the chest as well as shoulders, squared shoulders. The 7th and the last asana in this video is Malasana. This is going to address your ankle rigidity. If the ankle is stiff, it will affect your running, walking or any sport activity. Let us look at the posture. So for that, you need to come on your feet, open your knees out, toes can go slightly out and using your elbows to open your knees. See, if you squat in this way, it is working to a great extent on your ankles as well as your hips because your knees are opening up. So due to long hours of standing and we are not used to this kind of position now anymore, so that will affect the entire body. So this posture is going to improve your ankle flexibility as well as your hip, which will improve your walking, running, any other sport activity. So stay here. You can also watch TV while in this posture. You can do anything, talking to your friends if you're comfortable. So this posture, stay here for few breaths. If you cannot get your heels completely down, you can stay here first few days. Later you'll see that slowly your heels are getting down completely. After a few breaths, you can release your hands, sit down. That was the last posture, Malasana. These are the 7 yoga asanas which will help you improve your posture as well as more confidence in you. Keep practicing them regularly and soon you will see an improvement in overall quality of your life.